In the following figure, the coordinates b and d are 6, 9, and 10, 1, respectively. So determine the equation of the midline. So what are we really doing here? Well, we're going to do a bunch of steps in order to find the equation of this graph. And we can write more than one equation to describe it depending on the shapes. So let's look first at the midline. Well, we can do so, let's see, after we label our points. Let's see, b is 6, 9, and d is 10, 1. Okay, what would the equation of the midline be? Well, let's see. It would be halfway in between. So I really need the average of those y values. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So y equals 5 is the midline. What is the amplitude? Well, how far is 9 away from 5? It is 4, right? How far is 5 away from 1? 4. Okay, so we have determined that the amplitude is 4. What is the period of the function? Well, period is how long it takes to do one full cycle. Let's draw out a cycle. Does it matter where we start the cycle? It does not. That's kind of the cool thing here. So let's say I want to start it at B. Well, then I'm drawing a bowl, so I better draw the whole bowl. If I wanted to start, say, with a hill, then it would end sooner, right? But the period is still going to be the same. Okay, start at B, draw your bowl. Well, I need to know how long the period is. How long the period is really the horizontal distance from the starting point to the ending point. Okay, well, I'm starting at x equals 6. Halfway there, I'm at 10. So if I go that same distance again, I should be at 14, right? Halfway there, I've gone 4 steps, 4 units. So another half, I've done another 4, so a total should be 8, right? Period of the function is just starting x minus beginning x should be 8. Okay, great. So now I can write the function as, it says write it as a sine function. Now again, sine and cosine are really the same wave, right, but shifted. So I can write the function as a transformation of sine or cosine. So how would I do it for sine? Well, first, let's get in the amplitude. Amplitude is 4. So 4 sine. And then I'm going to do this thing, right, where I have kind of setting it up. What's that midline? 5 plus 5. Okay. So the period is 8. I know that 2 pi over b is the period. So 2 pi over b should be 8. So 2 pi should be 8b. B should be 2 pi over 8, which is really pi over 4. Right, b is pi over 4. Okay. Now I need to think of my shift. The only time I need to think of this inside part is to go with the equation I'm on, plane sine. So where would a plane sine start? I think of plane sine as starting at the beginning of a hill. How about at A? Well, what would the x coordinate for A be? Well, this is 8. A would be at x equals 4. All right, well, normally I start a hill at x equals 0, but this one is starting at x equals 4, so 4 to the right is x minus 4. Okay, so the other ones are easier, right? Because you've already done all this work, and I'm writing it in exactly. So y equals 4 times sine of pi over 4, x, that part I'm leaving blank, plus 5, because I need to figure out my shift. Where would a cosine start? I kind of thought of this as a cosine to start with, at x equals 6. So I'm going to write this as x minus 6, because normally I start at x equals 0. It's 6 units to the right. Again, I have to kind of think of it as writing it in backwards, so x minus 6. What about a minus cosine of x? Y equals negative 4 cosine, right? Because it's negative cosine x, the negative needs to be here. Double parentheses, pi over 4 x. I don't know what's going to go inside there until I look back up at my graph. Hope you're not getting too dizzy here. Upside down bowl. Well, I have D. D corresponds to an upside down bowl. Is that 10? Okay, so I could write this as x minus 10.